all of us will then share the light from those that are here. Because of how the hall is, I'm going to ask my colleagues here to be the ones that go in and light the candles. Once the candles are all on, then we'll go through our oath as social workers. Is that clear for everyone? Okay. I request the colleagues to go in and light whatever candles that's in there. How many of us have candles? They're enough. They're enough. Boma? The candles that with the box. Why last at the church? Okay, colleagues, switching on a candle should not be making noise. Okay, do we all have our candles on? Now let me quickly explain why we do the credo. The credo is a way that as social workers we rededicate ourselves to what we said we are. It's a way of us reminding ourselves of the uniqueness of our work and the responsibility that we have as social workers. So we do it every time we have the symposium, when we celebrate social work days. We do it at our funerals of our colleagues, just so that we all remember why we are social workers. Now in front of you, those that have copies, I'm going to ask that we read what is there. Where it says with registration number, you know your registration number, you must say it. Then we are all going to recite what we believe in and what we solemnly undertake to do. Are we ready? Okay, let's start. I, the undersigned, your name in full, a social worker registered with the South African Council for Social Service Professions in terms of Section 17 of the Social Services Profession Act 110 of 1978 with registration number 10-11-431, believe in the uniqueness, responsibility, and self-determination and ultimate worth of every human being, irrespective of status, culture, gender, religion, lifestyle, and other differences. In a society in which all members share the same basic rights, security, opportunities, obligations, and social benefits, in collective human responsibility for the well-being of society, and in the capacity of all people to change, grow, and develop under the stimulating influence of other people. through own life experience and through beneficial living conditions. I therefore solemnly undertake at all times to conduct myself in such a manner that it will be to the benefit of the profession of social work, its clients, colleagues, and social service organizations, to serve my fellow human beings and the community, and at all times to strive for the enhancement of their effective social functioning, to continually strive for the promotion of social, to always adhere to the ethical code of the profession as contained in the Social Service Professions Act 110 of 1978, and I fully accept the consequences that may result from non-compliance with these provisions. I declare that I do not have any objection in taking this pledge, which I consider to be binding on my conscience, and I commit myself to upholding this declaration. Those that have copies, please sign it. I think every year we want to remind ourselves of this and remind ourselves that we have a pledge that we uphold in everything that we do. I'm going to ask that we sing a song as we switch off the lights, and then this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Comes after Story?
After Story, this is the message of support here.
Oh, okay.
Then from there, the entertainment. I don't know whether this person will go online or I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Yeah, after Story is the messages of support.
Okay. So. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, HOD, for leading the credo for social workers. Remember when we were still doing restation? Do you know restation? Poem. You will go there and say, all things bright and beautiful. Beautiful. Sometimes you would say, all things bright and beautiful, all things bright and beautiful, and the teacher would say, hey, come on. Sorry, sir, let me start from the beginning. All things bright and beautiful, all beautiful, oh. Okay. Someone has lost the car keys, not car key, not car keys. car keys. If you are the owner of the keys, not keys, the owner of the keys, contact me. I will now call upon Ms. K.M. Maibele, Acting CD Social Welfare Services, to come and address us on the state of social work services in Limpopo. Over to you, Ms. Maibele. Let's give her hands of applause as she's coming.
Machironi, Abshen, More. Good morning. Dumelang, Slochile, I said Abshen. How are good people this morning? Program Director, allow me to step on the protocol that is already established. And I'm spedi bare ge o sena le kgomo ga geno o skwa senyetša batho. So I wouldn't want to jump or leave any other person. That is why I'm banking on the protocol that has already been established. In that way, I'm saying all protocol observed. And I'm hoping you having a lovely morning today. I'm happy to be here. Mine is not going to be a long one. I'll just have to take you through the state of social work services in Limpopo. And maybe I must apologize because I'm not projecting. I had some nice, lovely slides that I prepared, but for the sake, projector is there, but then now I don't know whether if I've got memory stick to take it to, that technology is actually failing me at the moment. But nevertheless, I can work from the phone that I have. And in the presentation, I've actually worked it in a way that you normally work your presentation with your table of contents, which I think is not going to be relevant now because I'm not necessarily projecting. But maybe allow me to just talk to key legislations that are very, very critical for our survival, or the one that gives us mandate, not that. Then allow me to talk to legislations that are fundamental in the social work services in the department. Of course, one cannot talk about any legislations because before one talks to the Constitution, which gives all other policies or acts of government a mandate. You wouldn't have any legislation that just comes from, that is actually contravening the Constitution. We also get our mandate from the Constitution. Key to the acts that I will talk to is the the Children's Act, which I think, not that all the other acts are coming after it, but then because it talks to people who cannot necessarily talk for themselves. Children are very fundamental, children are very critical to us as a department in rendering our services, because with children, you will understand that their rights come top. You cannot leave the children, you cannot actually violate the rights of the children as you're doing what you're supposed to. That is why whenever at the time you are doing your services, if something has to do with a child and the child's right is being contravened, you jump, you to attend to those issues, because they cannot talk for themselves and they must be protected by each and every adult in the republic. But then fundamental also, the South African
service professions, South African social service professions. I think that is where all of us as social workers are deriving our mandate also. The issues of ethics, issues of professional standards comes from there. You cannot do things as a social worker that contravenes what the council is saying. As a social worker, you must always try and work overtime all the time in ensuring that you do not do anything that is not necessarily ethical to the profession and also bypass or overlook the standards. So it's one of those legislation that I'll talk to. I'll just also talk to the Child Justice Act because in its nature also it looks and it's central to the rights of the, it's not my phone, to the rights of the children. But then allow me to just touch on the mission and the vision of the department because I think as social work services, we need to also understand and remind ourselves all the time. Our vision is one, I normally say our Department of Social Development's vision is very lovely because it's just straightforward and, you know, it talks to being a caring and self-reliant state. I mean, it talks to everything that we are as social workers. If you ask me from where I'm seated, or maybe I must say from where I'm standing, because now I'm not seated. You look into it, everything that we will be doing, it talks directly to the vision. And our mission talks to provision of integrated, comprehensive, and sustainable social development services. I cannot overemphasize on that. Why I'm highlighting vision and mission at this stage? I'm just saying to us, social work in South Africa is both a practice-based profession and also an academic discipline, in which it plays a very crucial role in promoting social change, development, and empowerment on day-to-day basis as we are doing what we are doing. Those are critical. You know, you're doing what you are doing because you are looking into the development, you're looking into bringing social change, you are also looking into empowering people because we cannot just be doing our work and not worrying about how our people, how you live your people after having done the services that you have rendered. But then let me quickly jump into the achievements. We have managed as social welfare services, as social work in the Department of Social Development, we have managed to register all social work services profession with the council, and maybe let me just talk to, people must not be worried about the fact that their deduction didn't go in much. I think is an elephant that we must also address as I'm seated here. It has been taken care of. The deduction will go in April, but you will be full registered members. You're not supposed to ask and worry about why we're not even talking about this because normally your deductions goes in March. There were just some, it has been taken care of. We also managed to sign MOU with new partners. And you will understand that as a department or as social work services, it's not possible for us to render our services without collaborations and partnership. And being here today with the University of Venda and also University of Limpopo is a sign that we alone, we cannot do that. We are within our midst, we also have people from tourism and also the gambling board. That's what says to you, as department alone, it's not possible. Or as social work services, you might not be able to do all these things without collaboration. Collaborations are ongoing, and every now and then we try and strive towards getting new partners. That is why we have to also maintain our partnerships. We also partnered with UNISA for capacitation of social services professions, which the relationship is going very well. And we also managed to train child and youth care workers. I know they might not be here in numbers because their day is still going to be, they have a different day given the calendar of celebration of professional days. Theirs will be in May, in which we will, but then as social work services, because they fall directly within social work services in the department, we cannot talk about all these other social workers without talking to them because they are actually playing a very significant role in the facilities of the department. I think they need to be acknowledged often, because I was saying to the HOD the other day to say, you know, these facilities are more of homes. As you run your home on day-to-day basis, our DSD facilities, ke ko gae. When at home you don't have water, you can't say, "Ah, gona molato, I will see what will happen tomorrow." You try and check around if there's no water. You even go to the extent of buying water so that your children can be able to take a bath tomorrow, go to school clean, and food are prepared. So our facilities runs like home. Whoever that is in a facility who does not understand that part, then there's something wrong there. The facilities, your child and youth care centers, your secure care centers, Kuseleka, Sishiru treatment, all those people that are there, we treat them like they are at home. They must not go without eating. They must not go without key things that me and you cannot go survive without them. So as we talk to facilities, we have accredited social workers now to be able to run with adoption services. And when I was talking to facilities, let me maybe pause for a second here to say, you know, something that made us very proud this year. We had 6 grade 12 students that were in our child and youth care centers who graduated not only with bachelors, but also with distinctions. And I'm telling you, I was going to demand that one, because really, it says to us, as much as these people have been removed from their families, some because of the situations in their homes, some because of other situations that maybe me and you might not be privileged in understanding, we have managed to take them to school until they completed matric, and most of them are at the university as we are talking. So that itself says to us as a department in this area. And in that we are going to also, now that I'm talking in the space where there is universities, we must strengthen this relationship further. Maybe to say, this kid, HOD, I'm trying to take this space that and take advantage that I'm talking to this to say, maybe next year we must be having this student admitted for free in the universities in Limpopo, those who will qualify to study in University of Limpopo or University of Venda. I think I'm not that ambitious, but I think that can be workable, because we are doing all these things as department. So meet us halfway. If they apply and want to register something from our 2 universities in the province, let them get a free kind of, you know, you hear me? And we will be able to do other things, and I think that will encourage them a lot. Those who are still in the center studying, they will get encouragement to actually try and strive towards getting to University of Venda, you know, because some they've heard about it, but they've never been to university. Even if they are in the Toyando Children's Home or Mutweteni or somewhere near Irish Home, they might not have been next to the university. So imagine if you are assuring them that, you are coming if you pass, but give us distinctions maybe. Maybe we can push it that way. But anyway, this is something that we will take out of this session. I think it's a conversation that I'm willing to engage with the relevant people, so that at the end of the day, our people, our children are going to be able to get access to education without fail. Colleagues, as like any journey in life, in which I normally say we are fellow travelers as we are colleagues in the departments, or we are stakeholders in different areas, that it's like we are in a train, we are taking a trip. And just like any other train that goes maybe from Toyando to Cape Town, there are some number of stops on the way. And as we stop, the idea is when we stop, we pick people from these stations that are going to join us in the journey to be able to get to Cape Town with us. But the reality of life says some of the stations, we did not even have anyone that we were expecting to climb into the train. But the train has to stop. There was a forced stop in which we lose one of us, and it becomes a problem. I'm saying this to say to those that we have lost in line of, in the field, we need to, maybe I must pause for a moment of silence in this regard, because we have lost quite a number. I think one is enough, but we didn't lose one. We have quite a number of our fellow colleagues that we lost along the way. And with that, I want to say, let's just observe just a minute of silence for all those that we have lost. I thank you. We are doing this to allow ourselves also to move forward, because life does not stop. The train doesn't stop when others get off like that. Unfortunately, life has taught us that no matter what you go through, other things must happen. When you go through challenges in life, when you go through issues in life, life does not stop. If AG is in the house as I'm talking, you cannot say, AG, because I'm still having some challenges. I can't give you the reports that you want. I can't give you all the things that you want. The AG has timeline. He or she needs those things. Then we have to continue. But I'm saying this to colleagues, as much as we have lost our fellow brothers and sisters, all is not lost. They've done a good job. Let's just pick it from where they've left and continue, because Lerena, next stop it might be us. You'll never know. The next stop, the train might be forced to stop, and it might be me, because that we don't have control over. I think it's something that in life we must also acknowledge and embrace, that it is part of life. We plan to do all these other things, but we are not in control as to what is going to happen, or whether if you are going to even end up implementing the plans that you had in place. As a way forward, I think it becomes very critical, colleagues, to actually strengthen our programs, which are aimed at shifting cultural and patriarchal norms, which I think, looking into the social ills that we experience as a country, as a province, we are not immune from that. We need to work over time and in ensuring that we try and ensure that we are assisting our people. Things that meant that culture dictated in the 20 years or maybe 30 years back, it's no longer relevant. So the HOD was talking to adjusting and changing with time. I think it's high times that as social work profession, we also assist in ensuring that our people understand, so that we do not have this number of social ills that at times, some of them are perpetuated by the fact that, culturally, I'm a man, I can't do this, or I'm a woman, I need things to be done this way. And also, parenting for both a girl and boy child. We need to encourage our communities or our parents also to a girl and boy child as equal citizen of the country that must be responsible for their lives. It's because you are a boy, at one stage a girl will have to is mandated to do this for you, and you find out a boy cannot even wash his clothes. That is not the life that you are living in now. Mandate us to make sure that these children grew up understanding life and being responsible citizen of the community. Of course, we need to strengthen our family and marriage preservation programs. Call to all the social ills, or fundamental to all the social ills that are heavy. I think family, you'll agree with me, families play a very critical role. So we must try and strive to assist each other in ensuring that our family programs are strengthened in a way that they will be able, families must assist us, because now things happen and families ask government, what must I do? Wanao akimukone, wampalla, Department of Social Development, what do you do? And some you know, for as long as families are not on board, it might not be possible for us to be able to assist or deal with the issue, because at times it needs miracles for us to be able to deal with some of the issues that we are faced with as a profession. And at times it even becomes scary, HOD, to go out to an environment where in which maybe there is a case of gender-based violence, because you don't know what you are going to find when you get there. But as a social worker, you must be ready and you must be able to go and be able to render your psychosocial services. But how do you render it in an environment that is not safe for you to do that? Those are some of the things that we must work together, and I'm happy we are talking here. We are having different institutions of higher learning. We must also work towards having researchers that assist us to point us in the right direction. Because at times we are addressing things from a different perspective, but if we can undertake some research in some of these areas, we might be able to get to something that we are missing. Because when you look into gender-based violence, you ask yourself, what is it? Because programs are there. A lot of work is being done by Banaba Banale Basadi out there, but then why are we still having this? So that is something that we must also engage and talk to. In conclusion, colleagues, I think I cannot overemphasize on the need for us to strengthen and our collaborations. Just last week, I was at Northam Platinum Mine trying to motivate for them. They want to build a treatment center for us in Sikukune area, but the board wanted to understand what is it that needs to happen for us to have that. So we appreciate initiatives of the collaborations of that nature, and we are saying let's continue to do that. Just on Friday, the HOD was in Tabazimpi with SIOC, in which they are also building a substance abuse clinic that is going to take care of issues of substance abuse in that area. So I cannot overemphasize on that. But then, over and above that, as I said earlier, let's give support and ensure that our facilities, our DST facilities are supported and they are given the space that they can do the best that they must do in that space. Program Director, I'm ending with, there's a saying, most of us came across it in the line of social work and psychology, I think, where in which they will ask you, they will give you a glass half full of water, and they ask you if it's half full or half empty. So I looked at it at one stage and I said, no, this cup is neither full nor empty. This cup is refillable. From where I'm standing, the cup is refillable. So by saying that, I'm saying, colleagues, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Your part, your service is pouring every day, even at the family, when you've got family gatherings. You walk into a family gathering, I'm not sure if some of you have experienced that, where in which one rakhadi will just call you as you walk in, say, hey, you will go in a corner, you're going to address issues that the rakhadi is having challenges with, to the extent that you don't even see a bride as the bride goes out. Because now, the social work in you is at work. So what I'm saying, colleagues, we are social workers. Yes, we are expected to keep on pouring every now and then, even at the family level. When you wake up, you must be sure that your children are having what they need to have. Your partner is ready to can be able to be smart and face the world. And it's pouring, you keep on pouring. So I'm saying, as a professional, be deliberate and intentional about refilling your cup every day. Make sure that you refill this cup, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Do you hear what I'm saying? And Akilebuche, we are people. The challenges that people are going through out there, we also go through that. But as a professional, you can't walk into the office and you say to a client, you know, I'm also experiencing the same problem. So can you go home? I'll let you know when to come, when I'm ready to. You can't. It's not allowed. It's not professional. The client came. They want to listen to you. They want you to assist them to maneuver from the angle that they are, the issues that they are facing. And you happen to face the same issues. So let's try to be kind to ourselves. let's continuously, deliberately, and intentionally refill this cup so that as you pour, yours doesn't run dry. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying let's go back home at the end of this session. Even today, as we leave this lecture room, let's go home and try to refill. We cannot refill in the same way because we are not the same. But anything that can work towards making your cup at least full or half there to full. I don't want to have empty cups. Because half empty, it'll fail even before letjatji le subela. So we must strive towards making our cup overflow. Because when they overflow, and I'm not saying this because rena ha rena mathata, we've got problems, but let's acknowledge to understand the issues that we face and deal with them appropriately so that we are able to assist other people as they come and need our assistance. With that, allow me, Program Director, to say thank you.
There we are. You have responsibilities as social workers. Dr. Mdau, would you mind to come down here and sit next to Dr. Budeli? Is it? Not this one. Okay. Before we go to lunch, I will call upon people who will give messages of support. HOD, Univen, LTA, LEDA, and the LNEC connection. Before Dr. Budeli comes, Ms. Maibel, I was asking myself, what does CD mean? So, to me, from where I'm standing, I was having another interpretation of CD until I was told that you are Chief Director. Thank you very much. Dr. Budeli, over to you. And then after Dr. Budeli, the one who is presenting LTA, LEDA, and LNO connection will come. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Program Director. Okay, thank you so much, Program Director. Professor Takalade Mashau, the Deputy Dean, Research and Postgraduate Studies in the Faculty of Humanities, Social Sciences and Education here at Univen. Program Director, allow me to send my sincere greetings to the Vice Chancellor and Principal who welcome all of us here in this event, Professor Bernardine Tambeleni, the DVC for Teaching and Learning of the University of Limpopo, Professor R.N. Madaje, the Honorable MEC of the Department of Social Development in Limpopo, Menandi Ndalane, the Head of the Department of Social Development, Ms. Endis Chachile, the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, Social Sciences and Education, Professor Biban Prini, the Deputy Dean, Teaching and Learning of the Faculty of Humanities, Sciences, Social Sciences and Education, Advocate Professor Machidze, and also our Faculty Manager, Dr. M.J. Baloy, was here this morning. I also want to greet the representatives of sponsors from Limpopo Connection, Mr. B. Ramatsobani, a representative from the National School of Governance, and the representative from the Center of Public Service Innovation. Program Director, it will be very unfair of me if I don't acknowledge the organizers of this event who took their time out of their busy schedules from the University of Limpopo, University of Venda, and also from the Department of Social Development in Limpopo, the staff members of the University of Venda, Department of Social Work, staff members from the University of Limpopo under the leadership of Professor Frank Rapolu, Univen Communication, Marketing and Branding Directorate, the Functions and Visitors Office led by Ms. Tibi, Ms. Khomotso Rakwale, who out of so many weeks we have sat in meetings to discuss up to today, Ms. Adele van der Linde from the Communication Department in the province. Program Director, also allow me to send my dearest gratitude to the social workers who are here present and also to our dearest students that this event is part of showing them what social work is all about, even after the training. Without wasting much of the time regarding the delegates or members from different institutions who are present here today, allow me to just say all protocol observed. It is my pleasure to take this opportunity to thank this partnership between the three institutions with the University of Limpopo, like I said, Univen, and Limpopo Department of Social Development. Let me also try to brag about this kind of relation that last year in October, we had a colloquia at the research center in this university, and I can report that some of the audience to that colloquia were people from the University of Limpopo, people from the Department of Social Development, also people from the Department of Correctional Services. And some of the colleagues from the University of Limpopo are here today. For example, Professor Rapolu is here. The Department of Social Development is our main custodian of students during fieldwork training. And as a university, we sincerely appreciate the work that social workers who are here are doing in the name of social work training. They supervise our students during work-integrated learning, depending on the terminology, but normally in social work we talk about field work or practicum, field instruction or field education. They help us as the university to comply with the South African Council for Social Service Professions norms and standards for social work training. This is the council that regulates social work practice and training along with the Council on Higher Education. We also acknowledge the presence of social workers from the NGOs, from the Department of Correctional Services, like I said, Ms. Paziri, also from the Department of Health, from Chirizino Hospital, led by Mr. James Malaji. I can assure that in this partnership we have achieved a lot, and our program, as far as it is now, it is in good standing because of the social workers that are here. Because whatever the work that they do is part of the requirements for training of future social workers. Very soon, we will embark on consultative meetings and workshops with all our fieldwork partners in preparation for upcoming block placement for our final year students on all other levels. Last year in October, I was tempted in that, in fact, there's something that I've delivered on that day, which I'm also tempted to talk about this afternoon. That with the help that we're receiving from supervisors from the field, from all the departments that I've just mentioned, including the NGOs, we are able to produce graduates that are locally relevant and globally competitive in line with the university vision and mission. Last year, I've indicated that last year I was in my own little mission to try to track some of the social workers who are working abroad. And I'm just going to give you just a snapshot of people that we trained in this university that are working abroad. For example, we have Memphis Tendele, who is working as a social worker in Surrey, London, United Kingdom. Elasi Tolo is a social worker who is in Haringey County Council in London. Rosie Sharon, who is in Southwark, London, Borough, United Kingdom. Temba Serrera as well is in United Kingdom. Moilete Mananga is in United Kingdom. Nswaki Shika, she's in London. Richard Malima just came back to the country after working for more than 15 years. Marubini Munyai was in Ireland. Dineo Ramucha is in UK. Mukwewe Gondo is in UK as I speak. Syria Nyambi is in US. Anele Moyo is in UK. Litsa Logerius also in UK. These are the people that we trained in this university who are making the strides in this university. Rodzane Mampieri, who is now a current staff member in sociology, who further his study in Czech Republic. He traveled to France as part of his tour as a student. He traveled to France, Germany, Italy, UK, and 10 other countries, if I'm not mistaken. The very same person that I'm talking about, towards the end of last year, he was in a 3 weeks academic visit in China, where he visited 3 provinces and 11 cities as part of this academic tour. The list goes on. We have seen a growing demand for social work graduates to work overseas, and I can confirm that all the papers that comes to me, I don't even take time to send them off to go and practice social work in other countries. And part of the requirements for applying to work in UK is that applicants should provide details of fieldwork activities undertaken throughout the study. And with these traces of social workers working abroad, we can proudly say, as the university, we are doing very well, in line with the vision and mission of this university. Program director, as I conclude, I really want this collaboration to go on and on and on, because we've seen the growing need as a university, in line with the university strategic objectives and plans, that there must be collaborations with partnerships, with fieldwork partnerships, also universities. And lastly, let me also announce this. I don't know whether I am marketing, but as part of marketing, is that the Department of Social Work in UNIVEN has started a Master of Social Work program not so long. So we're inviting those who would not have allergies to read books to come and join us next year. Thank you very much.
This is season of recruitment. You are allowed. Limpopo Tourism Agency, over to you.
Thank you, Program Director. Program Director, allow me to acknowledge the MEC, Menandine Dalani, and also the acting HOD for the Department of Social Development, Medudu Sitlajile, professors, doctors, and all other professionals present here, together with the students. And let me say, to sum it up, all protocol observed. So my name is Chris Ramshabam from Limpopo Tourism Agency. I'm representing our CEO, Mr. Moses Ngobeni. So we really appreciate the invitation that we have received from the department to collaborate in the field of social work. And we also want to say to them that it's very important that transformation is ongoing, and part of transformation is to renew the minds of people, to capacitate, even as Albert Einstein once said, nothing happens until there's a move. If nothing moves, nothing will happen. So it is true that transformation can only be best achieved through collaborative and integrated approach in harnessing the current resources that are there. And as Limpopo Tourism Agency, our role is to market the province as a tourist destination and further market the provincial products and facilities. And part of the products that we market is the natural resources that we have, or rather the natural attractions that are there. You realize that in the field of social work, part of it in the process or a program or an intervention to address the social ills in a person or in the community. Part of it, all the problems cannot be resolved only by discussions. It's a common knowledge that attractions do have a therapeutic being. I remember when I was still doing a product of social work, and one of my former lecturer or mentor is here, She really did a good work in me, in developing me at that time. Memukoni, let's give her a round of applause. She's not only alone. I remember Professor Sitole, though he did not have close interaction, but he played also a role in my development as an individual to transform. And today I'm here as a product because my primary degree is social work. I studied at the University of Limpopo. Nature can help us improve our thinking and reasoning and other mental abilities. You realize that as we're driving through, for those who are coming from Lotrichat, the landscape when you are coming through is quite refreshing as you pass through the what more if you turn left and go and sit there, look at the waterfalls flowing down and so on. It's refreshing. So then we also appealing to the academic fraternity and also social workers who are on the cold front to say some of the suggestions. Perhaps it could be that why don't you visit attractions around your area? Visit as a family, visit as an individual, and see whether there will be an effect in terms of how you perceive life and also in terms of how you perceive the social challenge that you are encountering. Nature can provide a mental break, allowing us to temporarily escape from the demands of everyday life. Well, as Limpopo Tourism Agency, we don't own facilities, we own products. Ours is just to promote them, to market them. And some of the attractions in our area, that is where we are in the Vembe district, some are natural, some are not natural, they're man-made. We have the Zata Museum, which is situated in Zelele, between Toyando and Makado, Lake Funduzi, between Sibasa and Fordham, Mapungiwe National Park, PPD Falls, the baobab tree, which is located in the Motali area, the Nandoni Dam, which is mostly popular. We also have the Lupepe Twin Dams, which are situated in the Nwaneli Nature Reserve. So as you deliberate further in transforming or having a shared vision in the transformation of the social work field, we say there is more to enjoy in Limpopo. One of our payoff line is more to enjoy. So then the Limpopo province is quite beautiful, with its own scenery and with its own products. Let's not miss that point and help us to promote our province. And as you promote, you also assist in the therapeutic process, in terms of developing the minds of the people and helping them to refresh. The souls of people need to be restored at the end, and nature, which is God-given and which we have in abundance in our province, help in that process of restoring people's souls. And if you can spend more money, you can still overbook in one of the products in the province or in the district. And as you do that, we help to grow the province better. And as you grow the province, we also grow individuals. We wish you all the best in your deliberations as Limpopo Tourism Agency. And we say there is more to enjoy in our province. Be blessed.
Take short left. Thank you very much, Limpopo Tourism Agency, for refreshing us. Now we'll call upon Limpopo Gambling Board to give message of support. Representative from Limpopo Gambling Board, hands for him as he's coming.
Am I doing it? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Dumelang. Ndemachironi. Mangwanani. Mangwanani Mararasi. That's Shona. Okay. Not necessarily from Limpopo Gambling Board. My name is Walter Mashilo from the South African Responsible Gambling Foundation. The South African Responsible Gambling Foundation is an NGO that implement the National Responsible Gambling Program. So with the gambling industry, we know there are lots of social problems. As you have mentioned, there are a lot of social problems when it comes to gambling. So our message is simple and clear. We are not saying don't gamble, but gamble responsibly. Now, what do we mean when we say people should gamble responsibly? Gambling responsibly, we mean people should gamble within their affordable limits. Everything they do with gambling should be affordable. I know, yeah, I need to go back a little. I missed to introduce my colleague there. I am along with Mr. Lindelani Ramadi, who is a counseling specialist at the SARGF. Okay, so we are saying when you gamble, we are not saying don't gamble, but gamble responsibly. Gambling responsibly means everything should be done harm-free. There should not be consequences of people, because we have received calls of students that they have used their bursary monies to gamble. And as we know, online betting is skyrocketing. Everyone is on their phones, Hollywood, Betway, and all others. So we are saying to people, gamble with caution. And as we know, again, gambling should be for entertainment. The minute you start to see gambling as a form of income generating activity, that's when you will have a problem, because now, when you see it as a side hustle, then that's where sometimes you will feel like you need to win at all costs. And what do you do when you lose? You gamble again, until you are indebted. So now, our foundation, as it does, what can you, remember the National Responsible Gambling Program. That is the program we are implementing. And as such, you may ask yourself, what happens if you see someone or yourself having a problem with gambling? Now, the first thing to do in that situation, I think we have distributed pamphlets there. We have a toll-free number, if you can look at them. We have a toll-free number, which is 0800 006 008, where you call and a qualified counselor will pick your call and refer you to your nearest treatment professional. We've got a network of treatment professionals all over South Africa. Treatment professionals, I mean counselors, registered counselors, social workers, and psychologists that are working in private. So once you call us, wherever you are, KZN, Limpopo, Eastern Cape, wherever, we will have someone to assist you there. And in a situation where, as we know, gambling problem is a psychiatric problem, and as a psychiatric problem, it goes along with other mental problems, such as your depression, anxiety, and others. So we have found that among those who are calling us for in need of treatment, we have found that most of them, they are experiencing suicidal thoughts. So in a situation like that, then we are able to book you in a private hospital and cover the cost, since you'll be a high risk if left unattended. So everything that we do in the foundation is free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. Your psychiatric evaluation, being booked in at a private hospital, or receiving treatment and counseling is free of charge. So So, okay, what do? We go around, the whole of South Africa, teaching people about responsible gambling. So, okay, I have mentioned that if you know someone who has a gambling problem or yourself, the treatment is free and confidential. And if you are unable to get us on the toll-free number, we also have a WhatsApp number which you can WhatsApp help on 076 675, I will repeat, 0710. 076 675 0710. Again, we have a family counseling where if you are not addicted to gambling, of course, but then someone, a close family member or a husband or a wife has got a gambling problem, we are able to offer you free treatment and counseling in order to understand what is actually a problem gambling, and as a way maybe to initiate treatment on the person's behalf. I think all protocol observed. Thank you for the opportunity.
If you want free services, bet Kaizer Chiefs. And now I will call upon Chairperson of Limpopo Liquor Board, Dr. John Mdau. After gambling, Chiefs, while taking some baths, Dr. Mdau.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Program Director. 2 disclaimers. The first one, I arrived late in this session. Therefore, I don't know who is here, what are your status and all of that. So I won't be tempted to acknowledge anybody by any social status. So just consider yourself greeted. Disclaimer number 2, I am a social worker by both training and profession. And this was all before I became the chairperson of the Limpopo Liquor Board. Program Director, we as the Provincial Liquor Board, our mandate and responsibility is to regulate the liquor industry. We have issued in this province more than 17,000 liquor licenses, and this includes licenses to your tavern, all the way up to your corporate stores such as your Spar, ShopRite, Boxer, you name them. Anybody who is selling alcohol in this province, they're doing that because we have given them the right and the permission to do so. It's very important for us as the regulator of this industry that we have a closer working relationship with social workers. Our biggest problem is that when we trade in this liquor industry, we were under the impression that all this shall achieve is to ensure that we improve and enhance the economy of the province. It will assist in ensuring that the entertainment industry consumes the alcohol in a manner that will be accepted by our society. What we are finding on the ground is the contrary to the above. We have noted, sadly, as the Liquor Board, that even in our very own province, people are consuming liquor in the manners that are not acceptable, both to the industry and the law of the liquor. But we have also noted that our products that we have regulated and allow people to use, they are now even consumed by those below the age of 18. And that becomes a worrisome to us. We are limited because our responsibility is entirely to operate within the four corners of the Act, which is to regulate. If you don't use our license properly, we will terminate, we'll revoke it, we'll take it back. Similarly, if you sell and it became known to us that you are selling to minors, we'll revoke your license. But I can tell you, Prime Director, that all of these are happening without us knowing. But the public, the communities, and social workers, you are probably aware of this. It is on the basis of this that, Chairperson, for us as the Liquor Board, this forum becomes very, very critical. It is a partnership with this forum that together we can begin to teach people that the consumption of liquor has to be done within particular parameters and by those who are allowed in terms of the law. Failure to do that results in a situation where all those who are consuming shall soon perish. And we can afford that as a liquor board. It is on that basis, Chairperson, that we are appealing to social workers, to the profession, to those responsible of administering the profession, from professors who are teaching it, administrators in the provincial offices, and to those who are practicing it, that together we need to come up with strategies and mechanisms to ensure that we enhance and promote this profession so that it becomes an enhancer and an enabler, that the consumption of alcohol cannot be done by those who are not allowed to do it. We appeal to social workers, both from the training and the administration and the practice, that let us join hands together, that those who are drinking alcohol, particularly those who are below the required age limit, are discouraged to do that. We have taken a position as the Provincial Liquor Board that we will no longer license any outlet, no matter how beautiful the outlet looks. If it's in a close proximity to a school, we will not license it. We will not do that. But that is not sufficient. We also said, if we will not license any outlet that is in the close proximity of a church or any faith organization, we will not license it. But we want to ask you, professionals, to assist us by training, teaching, and helping the learners, particularly from schools, that they should understand that we can only go as far as not providing the license. But you, in your profession, I would assume and believe that you can go much, much beyond that by ensuring that you are teaching these learners to do any other thing but drinking alcohol. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is our responsibility as the Liquor Board to encourage this kind of setting, and we are also saying, in future, if you need our support, we are a phone call away and will be willing to support all programs that would enhance that the consumption of alcohol is done in a manner that is acceptable. To those who are angry with us that we have reduced the drinking hours to 12 midnight, you will have to bear with us. Your anger will have to find a way to manage it. I'm happy professors are here, social workers are here. Please help them, because it is our responsibility to ensure that alcohol is consumed and consumed properly. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mdau. He's also a social worker. He will join the campaign. It's now, I've lost my watch, but I'm using this one. 20 minutes past 1. Let's go out for lunch and come back at 20 minutes past 2. VIPs, Health Sciences Building, ground floor. All of us, Life Sciences Building, ground floor. Thank you very much.
United Nations. And of course, the purpose was twofold, from the gambling board, from the tourism board, etc. That indicates how we have to interface with these non-government organizations to promote and achieve the aims of social work, the aims that were nurtured by people like Bomeri Richmond back then in 1917. And in 1917, for those who may not know, I was 7 years old. Now, the previous themes, I just took a snapshot of those previous themes to justify the fact that we are talking about the past. 1986, the theme was on children and youth. 1987, international perspectives on the changing family. 1989, the impact of the environment on the human condition. 1990, empowerment through literacy and education, and as well as international opportunities. And of course, the first official observance of Social Work Day occurred in 2007. It has become a significant event in the social work calendar, celebrated internationally, celebrated by everyone who regards himself as social workers, celebrated by even those exactly 41 years to look at what South Africa was like in 1983. And you can see that this slide appears in red. And I'm trying to represent the fact that the country was involved in some kind of low-scale civil war in South Africa because of a pernicious system that was declared a crime against humanity by the United Nations. I'm talking about apartheid. So this is what the community of South Africa and the international community were confronted with on a day-to-day basis when they opened their newspapers, when they opened their TVs. This became our daily bread, as it were. You come across reports that a bomb exploded on a railway coach in Johannesburg. March 21, which we celebrate as Human Rights Day, Sharpeville Day, but on this particular day in March 1983, there was a second bomb explosion at the Supreme Court in Pietermaritzburg. And of course, the Umkhonto wesizwe saboteurs burned 5 square meters. Have freedom to move, freedom to live wherever they want. But not only that, they should also have freedom to think and freedom to sing whatever they wanted to sing. Because during apartheid, of course, people were not allowed to even have the freedom to think. And that is why in protest, people like Stephen Bantu Biko penned a book called I Write What I Like, in protest against the constraints and the limitations placed upon him by the apartheid regime. So that was the character of the time. The prime minister at the time was P.W. Botha. That was in 1983. That is the general picture now, not in March 1983. Where he met the Lesotho Prime Minister when they were talking about the water project, the Basotho Land Water Project. Which water project it was a vision so that you could have a lot of water coming from the highlands right into Gauteng. Lately, I heard that people in Gauteng are struggling with water, and I asked myself, what has happened? Because billions of liters of water were transported from that particular project. So over and above load shedding, we have started having water shedding. I also heard on radio the other day that people in Durban have to hop onto a taxi to move to another village. There is no water. So 41 years after the aspirations were very high and people wanted to introduce a new order, it looks like we haven't moved. This is like a dream deferred. The democratic dream has been, we call them, in the township where I come from, when they see these people, xenophobia, meaning that he is a foreigner. So we have that problem. And then of course, it's a problem that we are battling with. And later returned, became a member of parliament, etc. And another one was Helen Kuzwayo. She also authored a book. She was at the forefront of the movement, the freedom and gender equality. The title of the book is called Call Me Woman. Emo with Samora Machel. People would know that Samora Machel and Eduardo Mondlane contributed to the liberation of Mozambique. They got rid of colonialism and brought human rights that we are going to celebrate March 21 this year. I think a few days from today. But he was doing that in Mozambique. But I'm saying that also to illustrate the whole notion of Pan-Africanism. That when we talk about Africa, we're not only talking about Africans in the southern part or the southern tip of the continent. We talk about Africans all over. We talk about even Africans in the diaspora. We could talk about people like Bo Marcus Garvey, Bo Bob Marley, Bo Peter Tosh, but it's for another day. And the movement of those people from the continent to Jamaica, the Caribbean islands, and the now movement that they are celebrating, they call it Exodus, movement of Jah people from the hinterlands back to the motherland in Ethiopia. When we talk about Africans in the diaspora, you'll always, there's this common thread, this common leitmotif that is expressed by people like Bob Marley. They talk about the Lion of Judah. And the Lion of Judah is Emperor Haile Selassie, who is a descendant of King Solomon. King Solomon's union with Bathsheba. When you go to Israel, you go to a place where Jesus Christ was born, you will find people who look like me occupying the space just at the point where Jesus was born. They claim that space as theirs because they are descendants of King David. Okay. So that's Pan-Africanism that's a talk for another day. We'll also talk, I also indicate that there was a person by the name of Gibson Kente. Gibson Kente used to write protest theater at the time, and he was detained several times. He was writing what he liked then. He was responding to the challenges of the time then. But Gibson Kente was primarily a social worker. You know, because I'm talking history, I don't want to talk about people that you cannot see. You see that handsome old man, it's Joshua Nkomo. That's one guy who used to be the president, as a deputy president of Zimbabwe. He was at the helm of the government until Gugurahundi was initiated and he had to run away for his dear life. But he studied as a social worker. That's Gibson Kente. At the time, the TV was not popular. If you wanted to be entertained, there was no scheme sum. You had to go to the theater to go and see a live performance. That's him there. And then, of course, I have Samora Machel there. On your left-hand side, and with Eduardo Shivambu Mondlane, the founders of Frelimo, the fathers of Mozambican freedom. Of importance, we'll talk about Samora Machel the other day. What I want to drive home is that Mondlane was a social worker, and he rose to the challenge. There he is there. And then, of course, you have, I can't hear you. Unomzamo, Winnie Matikizela Mandela. Yeah. What do you like about that picture? I can't hear you. She was a social worker. Over and above that, you see more than a social worker there. Yeah. So she's challenging us, and already she was at an advanced age. Can you see? Yeah. She was at an advanced age there. And I felt challenged. I'm not also going to allow myself to age. Isn't it? Yeah, social workers should not age because we've got a lot of work. You see, you must keep yourself young and fit so that you do. Isn't it? Yes. What is important is she was the first lady also of the first democratic South Africa. She was a social worker by profession. Now, I could have picked up a number of social workers, but there's Collins Mulapatini Ramusi, and that's the book that he wrote. It's called Soweto, My Love, and a testimony to black life in South Africa. It's a protest kind of book. But there is a chapter in that book called, I think it's chapter 13. Collins Ramusi calls it social work, colon, a profession of angels. I'm not making it up, you can find the book. He says, this is a profession of angels. Today, I am talking to, yes, it's a profession of, I'm also one. Ne? We are in the same group, okay? Why? Because you have to respond when people are in need. When you find somebody in deep, deep trouble, and then you come to his assistance, you come to his rescue, what does this person say? He says, you are God sent. So it resonates with what Ramusi said. Now, I just want to ask a question. What is common amongst these colleagues that I've talked about today, other than the fact that they are social workers? Can anybody also give me a common attribute of these people? Yeah.
I think number one, they are all social workers. Number two, they fought for social justice. Number three, I think they are a preserved. I can describe both.
Hey, now I'm in a classroom, I see hands. Said.
I think that which was common was they were activists for the profession of social work.
I also want to talk to you about the fact that social workers that I'm talking about did not have degrees. That's one common mates. But I only diploma. In other words, in terms of empowerment and and if you, it means we can from you. And they were operating under a system that was constraining. They risked their lives. They could have been killed at any time, but they forged ahead. Today, the conditions are much favorable. So it means we can run better and faster. But above all, I also want to say that they studied at an institution called Jan Hofmeyr School of Social Work. Don't be surprised if you don't see that institution in your midst. That institution was forced to shut down. And in quoting Nomzamo Mandela, he says, they shut it down. Complicated, complex Africans. That's why it was shut down. Jan Hofmeyr School of Social Work. And the school was moved. It was started by a guy, a missionary called Ray Phillips. And it was shut down, I think, around 1959. They had to move the school to Zambia, etc. And discouraged. And the rest is history. All right. Responding to the challenge. Now, the year is 2024. Hey, the challenges never end. Bomondlane, Digizela Mandela, you think them, Joshua Nkomo had their own challenges. We are going to 2024, and when you read listen to the news, etc., the analysis, we don't know how it's gonna be like. Did you hear that also? Yes.
make sure that we're able to absorb new social workers in. And one of the strategies we agreed on was that we need to move the ones that are inside up so that we open space at the conclusion, colleagues, we are looking forward to a new administration which will be started. Whether it's half full or half empty, it's a full level. We can get it to the level that it should be if we all just work together. And I've also said one of the biggest roles is to bring resources into the department. And I'm trying that. We've got Liquor Board is there, we've got NWAP Ken is there, we've got LGB, they've said they are there, we've got LTA, they are there, Department of Health has come on board, but it's up to us to get our programs right so that we are able to tap into what the others are offering us. If we are not able to tell whoever wants to help us where we need help, then it's useless to have them on board. So going forward, I want to wish you a wonderful symposium going forward and wish you that in the coming financial year, I wish you all the best in everything you want to achieve as a branch. And for our students, we are waiting for you to graduate. Finish, graduate, come join the army, and let's be an army of angels, as the prophet said. Thank you.
The HOD has spoken, and the HOD is not a politician. She's meaning it, the upward mobility, the income of new ones. Very interesting. Now we are going to call, I'm not sure what NSG is around. NSG, CPSI. Now, if we don't have these two abbreviations, we are going to, at least the HOD has closed it well. And we are meeting here tomorrow at 9 o'clock, not 1 minute past 9. 9 o'clock on top. Ne? Then we will finish on time if we start on time. Thank you very much. You can continue working outside of this lecture hall. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day ahead and evening.